And welcome back to Bump Love. Now, transitioning our little ones from diapers to potty training or to using the toilet is an inevitable stage of parenting. The trouble comes in how to go about it. I mean, how do you anticipate that another human being needs to use the toilet? That is something that's supposed to be inbuilt, right? Yeah. And yet we need to train our children to learn to be independent of diapers and start to use the toilets. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
And welcome to our guest co-host, Priscilla Nassuna Musinguzi. Priscilla is a mother of 4 little ones and an angel baby. She is trying to grow a mom-centric community on Instagram under the handle Mamaze. I love that. She's passionate about sharing her motherhood experiences as a way to ease the journey for other moms, and we think that's really commendable.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
in line with our vision
as well. So welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you. We're so happy to have you. So we'll get right into it, ladies. We're talking transitioning our little ones from diapers into, being able to use the toilet for themselves.
I remember the show we had before on diapers and etc. And I was honest. I said to Nzeme, I was just backing on that bill. Boys, stop wearing diapers at 1 year. So I was not looking for signs. I was on textbook theory. To be honest, I was like, they told me that this boy might never leave your house if you don't give him a chance to stand, to hold his own. Okay. So mine, that was just it. The only that I remember. So I remember towards the 2-year mark maybe is when I started doing so many things in between to make sure that he doesn't wear diapers. And Manuela taught us a word called you conditioned the child, not so much potty trained the child. So, but after maybe a certain point, I started to realize that just got easier. He started just doing it on his own. Yeah, just naturally. And I think what I remember mostly was his dry. So he would only wear the diaper at night. Really at night, can I say? But I would still go get him out of bed and take him to the toilet and what. So after a while, he stopped wearing them, and then I would still see there was sometimes pee in the diaper, but there was a point where there was just dry. Nothing. It was dry. And then I didn't have to wake up anymore even to do it.
Bad life.
So, but one night, I can't remember that mark exactly. Many years ago. But I just remember it got easier at a point, and the telltale sign for me was that the bed just became dry. It was not hardly.
Yeah, and I think mine is actually quite similar to yours. I remember there would be mornings where I would wake up, find Micah in the bed with his diaper, and there would be no pee. And I'd be like, it's dry. Like maybe he peed a little. Then I would touch him, like it's actually dry. Right? And it would happen for like maybe say 2-3 consecutive days. And then I realized, I think it's time to start using the potty now. I had tried earlier. And it had ended in
earlier. Tears.
Train you to use the potty.
You must use
me that I am not ready. It's just not my style. I'm not ready. Put the diaper on. In fact, if I took off the diaper, he would make it a point to pee either on the carpet or in the corner, and not in the nice, beautiful potty that I know, right? So I was really, really frustrated until I said, you know what, this boy will use will use the toilet or the potty when he's ready. So when I started to see in the night he was not peeing in his diaper, I was like, okay, I guess now I can add a bit more conditioning. So I'd make sure I show him this is where the potty is or this is where the toilet is. When you want to do so you go there. So, and I think also sometimes he would do it just to spite me.
I'm a firm believer in that thing.
Yes.
People say, no, they don't know.
No, they know.
I'm glad they go to the carpet.
Yes.
And pee from there.
I would show him, I'd be like, Micah, don't pee here, pee here. That's the potty.
Nope.
A few minutes later, he has peed, and he has this grin on his face.
And when
Did you just plot the
right? So there was a bit of frustration for me.
I think I like the 2 points that you've touched on because, of course, I'm one of those moms who really likes to research.
Okay.
When I'm going to go through a phase, or once I find out about a phase, even if we're in the thick of it, I am going to just dive right in. So one of the things that is mentioned is as a sign, a telltale sign, is a diaper that is drier for longer periods. Oh yes, readiness is something that is really important. Remember, some of these kids are not yet verbal. So that's their way to communicate that they grab your attention, because it will be in your face like, I am going to show you and put you in your place, that you're not in charge of what's happening with my body. So it's one of the things that I actually advise moms to look out for. Another big one for me is if they are verbal, is to actually communicate, or to know, or when they know the lingo for potty, or you know, or toilet, or whatever other nicknames that you might have given, you know, the entire process.
So I'm looking for telltale signs, and I'm just like, I'm like those textbook moms, like I just kind of knew that time, and I kind of feel like my kids were really good to me. In fact, Blake, Bianca, thank you so yes, they really did follow text. It helps, yes, because then you don't have too many challenges with the children. But they really did follow textbook. So but one of the biggest things, like I shared with you guys the last time, was communication. Being able to communicate. So show them, have a sign, or like the communication that she's just talked about, a sign, a word, a sound that in their mind will tell them, oh, this is pee and this is poo. The day they're wearing a diaper and they tell you, mommy, that's a good time, because now they're warning you that now I want to poop, and so you can take them to the toilet. Another thing is readiness, like Priscilla has just said it. There are children who they start to tell you things like, someone, uncle see me, you know, like auntie see me, like they start to fear to use the diaper themselves. And there are those children who will tell you, yes, they don't want to use it. And so they'll say, no. That's a child who's showing you they're ready for them to use the toilet. So for me, it's communication, just like Priscilla said, communication. But I need to say, though, that there's something called, in our worlds, they are called EC, Elimination Communication, really, which is that all animals will eliminate.
Okay. What does that mean?
A cow, a dog, a cat, a leopard, a human, we shall all eliminate. Even their babies do what? Eliminate. So the key thing is the communication of the need to eliminate. It's a natural process for the kids. They just need to be told, to be helped to process that this thing which is now coming from here is different from this one, and you can communicate it like this, and you can communicate this other one like this, so they are able to communicate, because it is a natural process. Now, when you put it in diapers, so here's my thing about diapers, although I use diapers and I will forever say yes, let's use diapers, is the fact that you're teaching your child, you're conditioning your child to use them, and then you're unconditioning them. So you're increasing your steps of teaching your child. So first you teach them to use a diaper. After you finish, then you teach them to use a potty. Then after you finish
to use a diaper,
well, that by virtue of the fact that you've put the diaper on, it's like you should. It's okay to do it in here on yourself. It's okay to do it. You first teach them it's okay to do it on yourself, because no animal is comfortable doing it on themselves. No animal. Like think about a cow, a goat. After they've gamed, they start. So they're not. No animal is comfortable living. Eliminating on themselves. But now we first tell them it's okay. It's okay. When we put the diaper. Then after that we tell them, now it's not okay. It's not okay.
What do you mean?
What did you mean? You first told me it's kawa, and now you're telling me it's not kawa. So there's also that confusion. After that confusion, you put them in a potty. Now after that you start telling them, now it's not here. Now it's great. So you have increased your own steps of conditioning, a natural process of elimination. So I just thought I should throw that in there.
It's interesting you mentioned EC and I hadn't heard of EC until I had to share with other mamas about potty and toilet training. I had no clue about it. So I went online and watched YouTube videos. You guys, there are people that train their babies to eliminate, to go on the potty between the age of 0 to 6 months.
No way.
It blew my mind. the sounds, what Manuela spoke about, conditioning them to know that is number one and is number two. And babies actually get that. So there are parents who skip the conditioning and unconditioning and go straight.
Yeah, I think it comes from the theory of our past. Yeah, I know that's where Angie was going. Okay, take us there, Madam. Take us, please.
Funny enough, I wasn't going to say anything because one, I know they'll say my
Stone Age.
Yeah, Stone Age thing. But there's a reason why Stone Age was there. We pick the good and then we leave whatever we don't need. But what I know about potty training, by the time any of my kids was 1 year, they were already potty trained. Why? Because from the time they're babies, my nanny used to put them, you know, that position. So not only is it training or conditioning, but they poop at certain times. So at 6 months, you won't be in town and then your baby has done a poo, except if maybe they have diarrhea or anything. But personally, I felt that it's easier to do that because with Asante, I kind of delayed because she's a girl, you know. Yeah, and Auntie Bitu had left. So because potty training is hard work, you know, and it takes commitment from the parent. Or whoever the minder is. And it is easier when your baby is 1 to 6 months or 1 to 8 months that you can say, oh, you know, I'm still at home, you know, getting ready before I go back to work. But by the time baby is 1 year old, everybody's like, Madam, when are you going back to work? And the second one thing I saw with potty training, especially for the young ones, you change the routine. You maybe go on holiday. It's
That's
like
it.
you know everything just
like you never did anything.
They get sick. Exactly. So in the old days, we used to do a lot of the stuff in the first 6 months.
Because it's interesting. My mom told me when my oldest child, when Matthew was 6 months, she told me tuzo mwana kupoti. Like, you know, you need to start the process. 6 months. She said as soon as a child can sit up is when you start. Of course, me, I was like,
But like,
I'm not going to do those things. I don't have time. I don't have, and I didn't know anything.
Yeah, and you think your parents are old-fashioned.
Exactly. So I said, no, we'll figure it out. Whose really diapers are there? They're not going out of stock. They're disposable. The process is clean, really. So there's no, but it's one of the things that old-fashioned, and I think even moms today are really picking up on it, because there's also the thing of diapers are not cheap, so they want to have the babies out, you know, out of the diapers as soon as possible.
So I'm curious, ladies, I know we've sort of been touching on potty here, potty that. How did you prepare for this process, this transition process? Because you don't just wake up and say, now I am going to start training my baby. How did you prepare, whether mentally, in terms of the things that you bought at home? What were some of those things that you did?
Yeah. So for me, I didn't do potty.
Or you didn't? You are not those parents who bought a cute potty?
Because I just knew.
A cup potty.
I knew. I think I tried with Blake because someone had given us, like, it was a present or something. But after that, I was like, no. So I just bought those booster seats that you can put on the toilet and a little stand, and then would go. And I think one of the things that I should have said in the first question was there's times that children pee and poop. Like, usually they will pee every 45 minutes, and they'll poop like every 2 hours. And it's important for you to know your child's cues when they are showing, like when they've just been born. They can actually show you that they get restless. Most times we just put on the boob, and then when we put on the boob, they've pooped. Then we're like, oh, they've fed. No, the first communication was, I want to go. But you put it on the what? On the breast. So it's important to know this cue is for hunger and this cue is for poop. So when the kids, when we're transitioning from the diapers into the toilet, I used their cues were very important for me, because they would communicate. I've always known that kids communicate in whichever way. I've always known kids communicate. We were born with an innate desire to communicate. So I know that kids will want to communicate, and so they would communicate and I would know that, or if not, I would use timing. I'm like, you've not communicated. It
How
looks like
is
you're
it?
enjoying the car ride. You've forgotten that it's time.
Yeah.
And then I would say, hey, Blackie, don't you want to poop? Yeah. And then even if he answers in an affirmative or not, I still take him there because he could still be enjoying his what? His game. So for me, that's how. So preparation for me was those two.
Knowing the
cues. Knowing the cues and that. And then the third one was every time I used the toilet, I went with my peeps. Either went with them or I communicated.
Yeah.
Mom is going to pee.
Yeah.
Also, you also start.
Do you want to come and pee?
Yeah.
Mom is going to poop. And then I would be there. They're also there. Hey, same. Then you get up, you show them your poop, you ask them where is your poop. They're like, nothing. But at least I have shown them that this is a normal process. When you want to do it, let me know. You can come here to the toilet. Yeah. So that's
Actually, one of the signs, telltale signs, is that when they take interest in that process, you know how they'll follow you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll follow you and they'll do different things in the bathroom. You will talk and you do like mommy. They won't listen. But one of the things that you can read into is them actually taking interest and then trying to mimic and imitate what you're doing. It's actually a signal. So if you haven't read all the other signs, that's one sign to look out for.
Sure.
Yeah.
In my case, as I said, I got a lot of help. I had an amazing nanny. My mom, my sisters were all there for us. So I can't say that I did it on my own, but I think in terms of telltale signs, amongst my children, the ones who potty trained even faster than the others are the ones who showed great discomfort when they did poo or pee in the diaper. Of like he does and then he's like, that's when you know that most likely, first of all, he will get off them or he's ready. He's usually ready that way.
So in terms of ideal age, and I think that the moms that are probably watching this will want to know, when do I start? I shared my own experience that I started early. I think it must have been like, I don't know, maybe like 9 months, 1 year there. That was early for Micah because with his milestones, he's sort of taken his time. So I really started early. So what would you say is the ideal age? If I'm clueless about telltale signs, what would you say is the ideal age to?
I'll say the ideal age, two things. The ideal age is when the child is ready.
Okay.
Like that's the first ideal age, and they've shown you all the telltale signs. And they've shown you that this is what I want to do. I'm uncomfortable now. The second ideal time when the child can communicate. If a child can say mama, they can say susu, they can say pupu, they can say pee. If they are able to say mama and they are not toilet trained or they are getting out of diapers, that's a good time. Because maybe they've not shown you they are ready, but as long as they can communicate other things,
Then
it means you should be teaching them how to communicate poo and pee, so that now you can be able to transition them from diapers.
But speak to the mom whose child is non-verbal, even up to say the age of 4.
Ooh, signs.
Signs. Okay.
Sign language is such an important. You find your own sign language for poo and pee. And even in our sector, in early childhood, while we use a lot of verbal, we also use a lot of non-verbal. So that if a child delays, they have both the verbal, they have two skills on them. They have both the verbal and the non-verbal. So use both. That time when we are saying give them cues, the s and you can give them actual signs to use in case they are not vocal.
But also to add on to what Manuela just said, if your child is having a hard time communicating, leaning back on timing is really crucial. Is really crucial because you're going to have, I have 4 kids and potty training, the 3, has been different each time. With my oldest, I really sat back and I really didn't want anything to do with it. But we got to a point where I had to take him into school, and at school they told me, please bring a diaper-free child. I had to figure it out. So I tried to potty train by force.
We're running out of time.
Chapa, you work. That didn't work. Then I moved on to treats. And the treats were hit or miss. One day they work, one day they nothing. So with him, he woke up one morning and he said his cousin is out of diapers and he's ready, and we never looked back. Wow. My daughter, I did at 6 months because my oldest had tortured me. So with her at 6 months, I started by the book, everything. At 9 months, she regressed so badly. So badly. I was expecting, so my attention moved away from her, so that was her way of getting my attention back. Yeah. So with her, but by 18 months she was out of the diapers, but she was also able to communicate. And also I realized even with her, getting her back after she regressed was on her timetable. She was the boss.
She was the boss.
With my with my son, my 3-year-old, I tried at 9 months. He wasn't ready, and he showed it in every way. I tried again at 10 months and he wasn't ready. I left it until he was almost 18 months, and then we tried again and it worked out. But readiness, if you're going to bank on your child being ready at this point, you're going to be really disappointed, because you need to read the cues from the child, and each child is different.
Yeah, that's true. Well, thank you. I think this is a good start to this conversation, and we are going to continue this conversation in the next episode. We're going to talk about pressure, challenges that you're going to face along the way, because there will be challenges. We already established that. So thank you, ladies, for setting this really good foundation.
Yes. And I must say, though, that if you're looking for the right diapers that will help you in the transition process, Molfix Diapers. Because you see, for example, their wetness indicator, you can tell someone, you can time. Because now those days when we're timing, you'd have to remove the check. You've seen parents who even smell. So one of the things that the Molfix Diapers will do for you is they will show you, and so you're able to do things like timing. And Priscilla has talked about timing and how important it is. But also the fabric of Molfix Diapers is different from your everyday diaper, because it's made of cotton. So it's really, and then it's affordable.
It is. So important. So important.
And it comes in both the pull-up pants and the the Velcro, the non-pull-up, the non-pull-up. And so that's why we're really happy that this show has been brought to you by Molfix Diapers. In the comment section, let us know when you buy your Molfix Diapers. Tell us what your experience has been. And for those of you that are transitioning your babies from diapers into potties or toilets, let us know how your experience has been. Until next time, with love from Pumla.